What will I get beat?
I mean, I get beat.
Bleep.
So,
I'm sorry.
well,
Can I
this will
say
get
shit?
cut out because we're starting.
You know what I mean, dude? Come on. That's weak.
Savage. I agree.
That's stupid. Oh, it sounds country bumpkin. Meh. No, it's bulldogs. It's always been the bulldogs. It's crazy, dude. Oh, my cat's mad.
All right, well, let's start this puppy off. So we've got the NFC North. We've got a whole bunch of guest stars in here. We got the analyst. We got the coach. Westlake Pride's very own Al. We've got.
Westlake.
I can't enunciate anything. So if you're expecting it to happen now, it's not going to happen. You've got the armchair quarterback, the rabid Jags fan. You got Spanky, who brings absolutely no value to this conversation whatsoever.
Nothing at all.
We had Scary, but I think he left.
He's a professional pilot, so.
Nope.
And that means I know everything.
And then we got Creepy, who thinks the Packers are going to win it all. So this will be fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got 14 people out there watching. So sorry in advance. And we're going to try not to curse. That's the other thing. So swear jar bucket.
So bad.
Go Pack, go.
How much goes into the swear jar bucket?
All of it. All of it.
Each curse word. Oh, all of it?
All right. So, all right. So we're going to start off. I'm going to kick off the bucket. So, and I'm looking at the records, and it looks like we all agree. So my picky is the Lions. We will go over the Lions once I get my generic iPad up and running.
So we are talking about the NFC North tonight, right?
Yeah, that's what I said, right? Or not?
No, I didn't hear you say it.
You know what? It's words. They mean things. So we're going to go over the NFC North, the 4 teams in the NFC North. The one I think we've all universally picked, with only a slight difference in record, is the Lions. Here's what they've got. So they picked up a couple players. David Montgomery from the Bears. They got all the cornerbacks in the league. They got some linebackers. Literally all the cornerbacks. They got Gardner Johnson. They've got Marvin Jones from the Jags, who's 5 years too old. They lost a few people. They lost their running back. Lost all their cornerbacks. And their linebackers, they lost DJ Chark. Really not a big loss. They've got 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, 2 third-rounders. That should all help out. Mr. Gibbs, a running back from Alabama. Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa. Sam LaPointe, a tight end. Brian Branch from Alabama, safety. Mr. Hooker, quarterback from Tennessee.
Best pick in the draft right there.
Go Tennessee Orange, huh? And Martin, a defensive tackle from Western Kentucky. The starting roster, the fantasy guys, quarterback Jared Goff, Reynolds at wide receiver, Marvin Jones the famous Egyptian Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Boy.
David Montgomery coming over from the Bears. Their line was the 3rd-ranked offensive line. Their defense was vastly improved. This year they project them to be 15th. So, we all think that they're gonna go first. So, I think I am not 100% sold on Jared Goff, but I think he is better than anything else in this division. So, throw in the fact their offense has scored lots of points. Their defense looks better. Sure, why not? Over to you.
Well, let's start off with the fact that Jared Goff has a lot of targets to throw to, right? Reynolds, the Egyptian, and Marvin Jones is old but reliable. They got a new running back in what's his name?
David Montgomery.
Gibbs. No.
Gibbs was drafted.
I like Gibbs and I do Montgomery. Montgomery's just being tossed around from Chicago to here. He wasn't that. In my opinion, I wasn't big on Montgomery in Chicago, and I'm not big on him in Detroit either, to be honest. I think they should just kept Swift. Gibbs should make a big difference. I think this team offensively is still packing a lot of power. I think that Detroit proved that season that they're up and coming in a big way, and I think they'll do that this year. Detroit isn't. I mean, Detroit defense isn't bad, man. I mean, they've bolstered up a little bit. Um, Again, when you got an offense that's scoring high points, you don't need a defense that's going to stop very much, right? Just enough to maybe keep the game around 20 points and let your offense score another 35, and you'll be good to go. I like Detroit for this one. As far as winning this division, I don't see a lot of competition from the rest of the division, in my opinion. They've got the Bears, who we all know what's going to happen there. They got the Packers, who have no more air in them. And I think the Packers are going to have a horrible season, in my opinion. The only real competition you have in this division is going to be the Vikings. So, for me, the Lions win this one. The division, anyways.
Yeah, so I'm also rolling the Lions 12-5 versus your guys 11-6. I think the difference for me is their defense was so terrible last year. They only had one way to go but up. I mean, they were 8th overall in points allowed, but if you go defensive efficiency, they were like 4th overall in terms of worst, 4th worst overall. So I mean, it's hard not to get better, especially when you've got the worst rated secondary in the NFL and basically a rush defense that's terrible. So, like, now the question comes is, what do the other teams have that they're not playing outside the division? Because that's really going to be the wild card.
Well, that's what
why
I
put
looked. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go for it, Rip.
That's what I looked at when I saw the schedule, right? When you look at the schedule, who do they really play? Week 1, they play Kansas City, so that's a loss. Then from there, they've got Seattle, which I have them actually beating. Atlanta could be an interesting one. Green Bay is going to be no air. The Panthers, we have no idea yet. The Bucks either. Baltimore will probably be a loss, maybe away. I mean, that could go either way, to be honest. There's just, if you keep going down the line, really, the schedule, the middle of the schedule isn't very like, ooh, it's going to be hard for them. That's actually the meaty part of their schedule. It's towards the end where you really see the difference when they got to play Minnesota, Cowboys, Minnesota. I think those 3 games at the end will determine whether they go, 11-6 or even maybe 13-4, man, to be honest. If they can win the way I think they can win and then really be the team I think they might be and come to the end of their schedule and put a little beat down on a division rivalry in the Vikings and sweep them and the Cowboys, it could be pretty interesting for them. They could come out 13-4.
That last 3 weeks of the season could be the difference between an 11-6 and a 13-4 for sure. And the division, because you're Vikings at Cowboys versus the Vikings on a game that's flexed, by the way. So I bet you that ends up as the Sunday night football slot to end the season.
Wouldn't doubt it. It'll probably be for the division too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, first place.
The
Although,
Lions
is anyone sold on new running backs, Jared Goff? I mean, we're all saying the same things. Like the defense got better last year. Like the first half of the year versus the second half, it got better. No reason to think it won't get better again. They did change out 2 running backs that were pretty good. Probably should have kept them, but they didn't. They added a couple more pieces. Most of the work was on the defense. So, assuming the offense stays high powered and Goff stays upright, that's what we're all predicting. But I'm not sold. I'm not. This is like the Vikings last year to me. They might have a good record. I don't think they're going very far in the playoffs. I just don't see it that way.
What was their run to pass last year? Like, did they have the yardage, rush yardage, and pass yardage? I know they had a lot of pass yardage.
4,400 pass yards to 2,100 rushes yards.
Wow,
That ran a lot.
they had 2,100 yards that season rushing,
and none of it from the quarterback position. Well, 7 from Jared Goff, right?
Wow.
73 actually,
okay.
But yeah.
7 a game.
2,100. So did they have 2 1,000-yard rushers?
No, they had Jamal Williams at just over 1,000 yards and DeAndre Swift at 540, and then a couple of Justin Jackson and Craig Reynolds with 100 plus, and then actually Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got rid of some backs then.
Yeah, they did.
Well, we knew Swift was a big loss, but I don't know that you replace him with Montgomery. Gibbs is a great rookie, and we've seen rookie running backs come into the league now and perform, but that's a big loss, though. Honestly, I don't know why you would let that go, but I guess they had their reasons. Your pass game's still there, big time, though. I mean, 4,000 plus yards is awesome.
Well, what do you do? Do you lock him into like, because he wants money, right? So what do? Do you lock him in and go, okay, we paid the running back this much money, and like the Cowboys did with Zeke, they were like, no, just we'll draft one in the first or second round.
Well, I can guarantee that Detroit was thinking, no, we're not going to pay you because our pass game is what made you the great running back you are, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's playing off the ball, 10 yards off the ball, worried about the pass, and giving you, give me 6 yards every run or whatnot, right? So they figured any running back can do what's going on right now. And it may be true. Well, yet to be seen, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think you see Gibbs be a 2-down running back for the
Barry
first 6
Gibbs?
games. No, Barry Gibbs. Not your high school wrestling coach, Spanky. I think you see Gibbs as a 2-down back for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season until he can figure out blitz pickup, and then, I mean, he caught a lot of balls out of the backfield in Bama. So,
well, can he pick up blitzes? That's the big question.
Well, yeah, right. I think the guy who's actually my biggest upside on this team is that tight end they drafted, Laporta.
He said tight end.
Yep, sure did.
And balls.
All right.
My bad, dude.
I love you, Spanky.
Hey.
All right, so looks like we're split on the
Tiger.
next one. Let's do the Vikings next. So
Yes, the Vikings.
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
from
that is
Minnesota.
a major airline pilot
I'm from Minnesota, so I guess by default I've got to support them, just like LSU. Went to LSU, so I got to support them. So
all right, so
There we go.
The Vikings, they got a fullback, CJ Ham, which you just
Yes.
have to say anyone whose name is Ham, you have to announce them. They got really not a whole lot of note. Josh Oliver, tight end from the Ravens. I only know him because the Jags drafted him. They got a new kicker. Just not a lot. Bit pieces. Their losses. Patrick Peterson, decent loss as a slot corner, but he's too old. Thielen, too old. Dalvin Cook, pretty significant. They picked up a wide receiver, Addison, in the first round from USC. Then they didn't have a pick till the third round where they got Blackman, cornerback. Fourth round was Jay Ward, a cornerback. So on and so forth. The starting lineup is going to be Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. They're penciling in the rookie to start, Addison. Osborne slotted at 3. TJ Hawkinson, the former Lion, at tight end. Madison at running back. Their line is ranked 10th overall. Their defense is bottom 3rd.
All right, well, there's a lot of picks. I think that Addison was picked up and is a better receiver at that position, in my opinion, than Thielen is. Thielen was already aging out, right?
Yeah.
Good pickup. I mean, you're still at quarterback. You still got Kirk Cousins, right? Dak Prescott of the C North. I don't know how much difference it's going to make, right? The Vikings are still going to be who they are. I don't think. I mean, there's a lot of draft picks they added, so on and so forth. But your name players are still there. Your Cousins, your KJ Osborne. They did lose Cook, which to me is big because right now on who do you have? Madison left, who has stepped up nicely when Cook gets hurt, right? But is Madison
Who steps up when Madison gets hurt, right?
Well, they've got a couple guys that I don't know who they are, right?
Yeah.
My question is Madison that back that is going to last? He doesn't get hurt a lot, but he doesn't play a lot. You get what I mean? Like, he plays when Cook is out, and he's got starting games. Maybe he starts 3-4 games a season, but will he last a 17-game season? And you're right. When he gets hurt, what's left? And without a run game, then what? You're going to put it all on Dak Prescott? I mean, Kirk Cousins? Then what are you gonna do?
Is
right?
it Dak Prescott 2.0 or is Kirk or Dak Kirk Cousins 2.0?
I don't know. It's Dak Prescott's Kirk Cousins with a 10.
Gotcha.
But
I got to tell you, I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Absolutely, dude. That's what I thought. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Spanky. So Madison's a better pass blocker and not a great pass catcher out of the backfield, whereas Cook was the opposite. I think they're gonna peel the ears back and send the ball downfield a lot.
Well, I mean, they've got Osborne, right? They've got Addison. They have Justin Jefferson now, right? They have the receivers for it, man. It's not like they don't have good receivers. They do, but it's Kirk Cousins, right? Look, man, Kirk. Look at his history. He's got great yardage, but Kirk Cousins. I don't know. You're waiting for that big disaster again, right? You're waiting for Kirk Cousins of the Washington Redskins or whatnot, but
It's just it's not consistent, right? It's the 5-pick game that he, follows up with a 700-yard game, and you're like, what's going on here? So
but
go ahead.
So I've got them at 10-7, but I could easily cycle them the other way. For me, the big thing is the rest of the division. The Packers and Bears aren't strong competition, in my opinion. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the playoffs and then see where the chips fall, right? Like they're not worried about having to win the division to get into the playoffs because they'll have a winning record. They'll make a wild card slot without a problem.
Yeah, maybe I have them at 9-8, and you're right. Their schedule does have some players though. I mean, week 1 the Bucks, all right, you could give them that one, but then you got Philly, you've got the Chargers.
They're playing a first-place schedule. Yeah, exactly.
You got San Fran, Atlanta, who's much more. They'll be a lot better this season, I think. You've got New Orleans. I don't know about that. The Raiders may be a little better. You got the Bengals. You got the Lions twice. Man, if they lose a couple of these games that we think they're going to win, they may not win the division. To be quite honest, no. It all boils down to, can Kirk Cousins be the man 100%, right? And what I mean by that is you lost Cook now, and you don't have that run game where it's a beast. You don't. Madison fills in well, but again, Madison wasn't a starter for a reason on top of Cook, right? There's flaws to that. Does he fill in well? Sure. But can he pick up the blitzes? Is he a good blocker? Like you said, he's not a great catch out of the backfield. And if he goes down, now you're filling in with what? Who's left on there? Pull it up. You've got Ty Chandler. I don't even know who that guy is. Yeah. Kenny Nawanagawanu, who I cannot pronounce, and Dwayne McBride. I don't know who any of these guys are.
Danny McBride's playing for the Vikings?
Yeah, that guy.
Sweet.
He's found it down, baby.
Yeah, buddy. And the Righteous Gemstones. Let's not forget that.
Well, so they were 13 wins last year. I didn't think they were a 13-win team. Like, we talked about this multiple times.
That, yeah.
I mean, and they played out. The luck pendulum swings the other way. They were lucky last year. They won games they shouldn't have won. That Colts game shouldn't have won that. Like, it doesn't happen. Yeah, it's Matt Ryan on the other side of the field. He's retired now. That game's gone. Like, there was a lot of miraculous wins the Vikings did to get the 13 wins. They're probably closer to a 9-10 win team last year. Their defense is taking a step back. Their offense is probably taking a step back. They've got rookies in place of veterans. They got a downgrade at the running back. That's what I'm looking at. So if you subtract a couple from the 10-win team they should have been, that's where you're again. I think they're primed to take a step back. I think the Lions are better than them. I think Jordan Love and the Packers are going to have a decent year, and then I think the Bears still suck. And then they play the first place schedule outside of that. So,
well, and I mean, let's look at it as simply as they scored less points than the Lions did last year and had a 4-win better record.
Didn't they score less points than they scored?
They were a -3.
That's what I'm trying to say. Point differential, yes.
Yep. Point differential -3. So both Detroit and Minnesota allowed 427 points. Detroit scored 453. Minnesota only scored 424.
Yeah, but at least Detroit threw a bunch of money at defense, right? The Vikes didn't and couldn't. So Yep, I think this is the prime candidate for the Vikings go bloop, which I know
The only reason
Skull loves.
The only reason I don't think so is because I don't think the rest of the division outside of the Lions is going to be any good.
Well, still got to look at who they play. I kind of agree with you, but look at who they're playing, right? Philly, that's a loss. Kansas City, that's a loss. San Fran, that's a loss. I think Falcons will beat them. We'll see. Denver, okay, let's move on.
I mean, the defense will
Raiders,
at least beat the tar out of them, right? Like it's not gonna. They're not gonna cruise through that game.
That's true. But it's Russell Wilson, so.
Yeah, well, I didn't say they'd win or lose.
Then the last 4 games of this season, I mean, given Green Bay is going to be an easy, right? But then you got Cincy, Detroit, and Green Bay, then Detroit again. Oof. Tough schedule for them, bro. But again, those Detroit games, they can either split them or get swept, or maybe they sweep. I doubt that, though. But they can easily, again, go from, for me, I have them at 9 and 8. But that number can easily switch to 8 and 9. I think I'm pretty dead on with those picks right there. I can't wait till the end of the season to see who was closer in their picks, right?
Well, and there'll be that invariable. I mean, the thing about it is, you're right. I can't wait till the end of the season. But there's things that will happen. Like for example, if game 1, Lamar Jackson hurt something instead of game 15. Obviously, the Ravens' predictions are all wonky, right? Like, remember the one year that Brady went down with an ACL like 7 minutes in. So, it's those kind of catastrophic. It's like the Niners and I lost every quarterback kind of issue. So,
and there's also some teams on here we don't know. Like, we don't know what they're going to do yet. Like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's a lot of questions at quarterback, right? You've got the Panthers as well.
And Baker, you trust, right? Come on.
The Falcons. And we may be 100% wrong about the Packers. Jordan Love may be a beast. Who knows?
And you've got a couple of big name talented guys sitting out there in free agency that could be a game changer for teams. You got Hopkins 100%. And Cook that both could be, a difference in 5 or 6 wins for a team.
Very true.
Okay, so let's switch over. I will put up our next 2 contestants, which I think we all have the Packers. We have little faith in Justin Fields, huh?
Justin Fields or Jordan Love? Packers or Bears?
I mean, I think we all have the Packers next because the Bears we think are going to be worse. That's what I meant.
Correct. Now we could be wrong about Love, right? 100%. And I'm telling you right now, and something I was hoping to see way sooner, and it's finally going to happen. The Packers have 2 good running backs, in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and I think those now we're going to see a massive amount of run game coming off.
That's last year. Why don't you run the ball?
Yeah, I wish it was last season, right? But yeah, I think that they have to rely on the run now. I mean, until Jordan Love gets his footing, right? I guess he's gonna look, man. There's preseason and workouts and all this good stuff and all this, but he doesn't have a ton of 1 snaps, right? Or a ton of in-game experience. So we saw the little that he did, and I wasn't impressed. But again, it's hard for a quarterback to get his rhythm in this game, I think, and they're expected to as pros. But what quarterback do you see come off the bench and I'm just going to throw for 8,000 yards? Oh wait, what's the guy from San Fran? Purdy.
That's end of list, right?
Yeah, but Jordan Love to me has not been impressive, right? But we'll see. If he comes out and he's a great quarterback, great. But I think they're going to rely on the run game, at least for the first 4 or 5 weeks, heavily. And they've got the running backs for it. That 1-2 punch of Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon ain't nothing to sneeze at, right?
Yeah. And let's go over their team real quick. So
my bad.
No, you're fine.
No, my bad. Over it.
So it looks like not a lot added. They got a long snapper. They got a kick returner that they re-signed in Nixon, which is important if you remember a couple years ago when they had some special teams snafus. They got a safety in Tavarius Moore. They lost biggest losses, Rodgers, then Lazard, Tunyon, tight end. They had a lot of picks. They got from the Jets, defensive end, Ness from Iowa, Second rounder, they got tight end Luke Musgrave from Oregon State. From Tampa, they got number 2 pick Jaden Reed, a wide receiver from Michigan State. Number 3, they got another tight end Tucker Kraft from South Dakota State. Fourth rounder, defensive end. Fifth rounder, they pick a quarterback we won't talk about. They got a lot of 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks like the Packers always do. The roster is Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, the backup back, Christian Watson, who looked okay at the end of last year, Romeo Dobbs, which everyone's high about. They've got Samori Turi. Sure. Don't know if I enunciated his name right. Luke Musgrave. Their line is rated as a top 10 offensive line. Their defense is about the 20th ranked defense. And that's your Green Bay Packers.
Man, look at that receivers room, man. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rookie receivers in that whole little depth chart. That's a lot, man. You know, you've got Kristen Watson, who was actually pretty great at the end in the second half of that season. Romeo Dobbs is as well. He's a pretty good one as well. But look at the rest of it. I mean, those are all rookies for the most part, except for Jeff Cotton. But I don't know who Cotton is. Cotton.
Well played there, Cotton. So here's, if I told you that Jordan Love threw for 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 17 picks, which is what I think he'll do, and they're running the ball with those 2 backs, and they're playing decent defense. This is a decent team.
Let's define what running the ball with those 2 backs looks like.
That's a 2,000. That's the Detroit Lions last year, 2,000 yards. Those 2 backs are that good. There is no Aaron Rodgers there calling another play. I don't know what happened last year. I don't know why the Packers, first and goal, were like, let's run the ball. No.
So you literally just described the statistical breakout for the 2022 Green Bay Packers. They were 2,100 yard rushing team. Rodgers threw for 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks.
And what was their record?
9-8.
I have them at 8-9. So
I have them at 6-11.
Oh, sorry, they were 8-9 last year, not 9-8.
Oh, so I have them exactly the same.
Yep.
I think they get worse. I mean, you're losing Rodgers and adding Jordan Love, and I mean,
and you got a ton of.
You say that, but you said that they were on the Sweet Pickles retirement bus tour, right?
Correct.
He played like crud.
Correct. So just about. Well, you're right. What you're saying is you can compare him to Jordan Love. Maybe, and you may be wrong. I have him at 6. Am I right? I have him at 6-11. That's 2 losses or 2 wins less or whatever than last season. Again, what I've seen, I'm going based on what I've seen from Jordan Love, right?
Yeah.
The small samples of what we've seen, man, 6-11 to me is being generous. But we can go down their schedule. I have the Bears beating them week 1, by the way.
No way. Okay.
I
Justin Fields runs for 5,000 yards. Got it.
You're hearing it right here. The Packers are going to lose their first 4 games. Their first 4.
I'll be back a little bit.
To Atlanta and New Orleans. It's going to be Chicago, Atlanta, New Orleans, Detroit. How embarrassing. But it's going to happen. They're going to beat teams like the Broncos. Man, I'm telling you, I was being generous at 6-11. Look at their schedule. It isn't that light. In week 1, they've got Chicago Bears. They've got Atlanta Falcons in 2. 3 is New Orleans, and 4 is Detroit. Again, you'd think the first 3 are gimmies, but I don't think I mean, their run game's going to be great, but I think that if one, you can't just run because someone's going to stop it. And 2, if you put the hands in Jordan Love, from the samples I've seen, he's going to throw some picks. And that, turnovers are what give the other teams wins, right? Defense wins games, and you look at Atlanta with a new running back. I mean, their rookie running back's going to be a beast. New Orleans not going to look too bad either.
How many picks did Brett Favre 2.0 throw last year?
12.
How many touchdowns?
26.
I think Love's in that ballpark.
I disagree.
So that's why they play the games, right?
26 and 12. They've got 6 winnable games, and again, Jordan Love comes out and proves us all wrong, and maybe they're 11-6, but the picks are what they are, right?
Oh, yeah. What do you think, Shark?
Besides, guy named
Yeah.
Jordan Love, come on now.
I've got him at 7 and 10, and it's all on the rookies in the wide receiver room. Like, because you need to have the savvy wide receivers to go along with Love's on his 5th year in the league, I think, but first year starting. Like, he is essentially a rookie quarterback for all practical purposes when it comes to games. So, 2020 pick. So I guess he's 3rd year in the league, technically.
Bro,
Yeah,
after this season, it'll be, hello, my name is Jordan Love. Welcome to Lululemons.
Dude, he's loved at Utah State. You like how I did that? No, he is worshipped at Utah State. He'll go back and be an offensive coordinator for them or something. But
Well, can't play coach, they say.
yeah, right, Rip.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow.
You can also age out and then get the coaching.
8,000 pounds. I ain't playing football anymore. They won't let me play youth football anymore.
Something about having facial hair.
Oh no, they allow that in Texas.
The IM12 picture doesn't work anymore.
No, I mean, so what I will say is I think Green Bay, if they can score more, they're going to be a really good team. The question is, can they score
Captain
more?
Obvious.
Well, no, I mean, they've already got a good defense. No,
if they can hold the opponents to less points than they put up, they're going to win a lot.
I didn't say that. So Green Bay was one of the lowest scoring teams last year.
With Aaron Rodgers. I'm telling you, did you guys look at the Packers games and go, this is Aaron Rodgers of old? He looked bad. You're replacing him with a young guy who's got legs. Like, at worst, again, I didn't see anything with Jordan Love I'm an interception magnet. He's going to make some bad throws. All of them do. They're young, right? But he is a third-year player. He is not a rookie. He's been in the system. He sees what's going to go. They're going to hand the ball off. They're going to play defense, and they're going to ask him to convert on third downs. And he can do it by running the ball or by throwing the ball. Like, I think that's what they'll do. And again, I don't have them as being, 12 wins. I think that they're going to struggle and win half their games.
Well, it all depends on whether he has an Aaron Rodgers cocaine dealer on speed dial or not.
It's great.
He does have.
Aaron looked high last season. Who knows what's going on there? And I think that guy has mental issues, to be honest. We'll see, man.
Because what'll help is going to New York, right?
Yeah. Well, based on the small sample we have of Jordan Love, that's what I'm basing my win-loss record on, honestly.
I mean, Rodgers went and spent 4 days in a dark hole to figure out if he wanted to come back to Green Bay. So I mean, we know he's not all mentally there.
But they knew when he went in that hole, they were talking about trading him. Like, he knew he was a goner if he came back. So he went to that dark hole to think, did I want to play for the Jets?
It was in no dark hole. He was in Taiwan with 4 lady boys and a bag of cocaine.
Dang it. You're doing so good.
Taiwan. I think that's Thailand.
Can we not say lady boys?
No lady boys. So, all right. The Bears.
Dude, you just gained true viewers.
Well, all from Thailand. Thank you, viewers from Thailand.
Actually, it was Taiwan, but yeah, my bad.
All right, so the Bears. It's easier to say who they didn't pick up. Then the Bears added a lot of people. They got a quarterback. They got Devontae Foreman, running back. They got Travis Homer, which I have to say because his last name is Homer. The fullback, Blasson Gamey. DJ Moore in a trade from the Panthers. Who's like, man, I'm going to the Bears. They got the tight end from the Packers, Tanyan. Wide receiver Pettis. Offensive guard Nate Davis. They got an edge rusher in Rashawn Green. DeMarcus Walker. Billings at defensive tackle. Dylan Cole. Tremaine Edwards, big signing. TJ Edwards, linebacker, big signing. Linebacker Patrick Scales. They lost Montgomery, linebacker Adams, Riley Reef, and another linebacker Morrow. Had a ton of picks. First rounder, Mr. Wright, offensive tackle for Tennessee. Second rounder, a defensive tackle from Florida. Second rounder, Stevenson, cornerback from Miami. Third rounder is Zach Pickens, defensive tackle for South Carolina. They got a running back in the fourth rounder, Johnson. Wide receiver Tyler Scott from Cincinnati in the fourth round. So they had a couple fifths and a couple sevenths. Their starting lineup right now is Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, who's like, dear God, someone be quarterback for me. Cole Kmet, and then Tanyan backing him up. Running back is Herbert Khalil and Devontae Foreman. Their line was 14th. Their defense was dead last.
Well,
go ahead.
they also have the Egyptian's brother, Equanimus St. Brown. He's also a pretty good receiver. You know why?
I'm glad you didn't say Equestrian St. Brown there. I thought that's where you were going for a second.
Hey, I actually got his name right, I think. But anyways, yeah, the Bears went and said, all right, look, y'all sucked in 2022. What we're going to do is we're going to send all of you guys home, and we're going to draft like 32 guys. We're just going to start fresh because that was a disaster. They kept Justin Fields, the running back that pretends to be a quarterback. Again, we're going to see a lot of the same thing, right? He's what do you want to call him? The dime store, what's his name from Philly?
Justin Hurts? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. That guy. Fields is not that guy. You know, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff. They did pick up that lineman, though. They picked up Darnell Wright. That guy's a beast. I think that's a great pickup for them. But the last I checked in football, there's 5 linemen, not just one. So see how that helps them. They did pick up
but you need a left tackle, and Wright just became the left tackle.
Yeah, you also need 2 guards in the center and another tackle. So
And probably a backup just in case somebody gets hurt. Yeah.
No. Who needs depth?
Anyways, I just don't see it. I'm not sold on it. Yeah, Chase Claypool went over there, or he was over there already, wasn't he? Didn't he go last year? Yeah, and he didn't do too great either. I'm not impressed. There's nothing that tells me that this team is going to do great. There's nothing that tells me that this team is going to go better than whatever I put them at. What did I put them at? 5-12.
Ripper is 5-12.
Yeah,
Warty is 5-12. Stryker is 5-12. We seem to have a consensus.
Man, look at their schedule too, right? It's not going to be easy for them. Again, maybe a win against Green Bay, maybe a win against Packers or Buccaneers, but they got Kansas City. They've got the Vikings, the Commanders. You've got some teams that they're playing that's going to make a big difference for them, right? I mean, you got to play your Minnesotas twice, your Detroit twice. They got an easy schedule. They got Cleveland Browns. They got little people, so, well, that's a win.
That's a win.
The Falcons, who I personally think are going to be the surprise team this year, it doesn't look good for them, not at all. And I think we saw it last year. And what did they really do? Yeah, they went out and drafted 82 people. I don't know that it makes a big difference. We'll see. I mean, obviously it should, right? Maybe in 2 or 3 years when those rooks become something better. But for now, I still see them going 5-12.
So I'm looking at the in-depth stats trying to figure out how the Bears didn't score more points.
Did you leave past the quarterback?
Running back
No.
pretends to be quarterback.
Well, but they literally are in a division where 3 of the top worst defensive teams are in the top 8. So the Bears were the worst defensive team, the Vikings were the second worst, and the Lions were the 8th worst.
Well, when your coach is out there calling plays like, hey, you, Fields, run right. Hey, you, Fields, run left. You know, he had 3 plays, run right, run left, run up the middle.
Yep.
Should we pass it, Coach? Nah, why are we going to pass?
Well, so he had
NFL.
15. He had 15 games. He had 2,242 yards, 70 touchdowns, 11 picks, and a QBR rating of 54.
Woo!
Impressive.
Stryker, you could probably get in there and not get any of the running yards and get, I'm going to go with 242 yards. So
How many yards did he have passing?
2,242.
I mean, slow, obviously. What does that average to in 17 games?
It wasn't 17, it was 15.
149 yards a game.
Damn. Yeah, but what's his rushing?
1,100.
8,000 yard rusher. 1,100 yards from a quarterback. Wow.
So he literally averaged the same amount passing the ball as he did running the ball. Like his yards per pass and his yards per rush were the same. He rushed 160 times through 318. So yeah, they basically were. God, they ran the ball a lot last year.
They had to.
They were a 3,000-yard rushing
What if
team.
you put this guy back there and said throw the ball 50 times a game?
Yeah.
You've got 10 yards at half? Like,
and 32 interceptions.
What film did they see that they said this is our guy? Like, that's what I would love to see. Like, is someone there in the coaching film room going, we can correct all these flaws? I can't. I mean, these are highly paid professional people. I can't imagine them looking at Justin Fields and not going and seeing what we see. Right? He is, and no clue in 2 years. It's not like he's getting better.
There was probably a quarterback coach in that room that said, "Challenge accepted."
So in 2021, okay, so he is literally, so he threw 58.9% in 2021. He got it up to 60.4 completion percentage, which to me is a rounding error, right? He averaged 6.9 yards in the air. In 2021, he got to 7.1. Again, a rounding error. He threw 7 picks to 10 interceptions. He's up to 17 and 11. So a little, I guess, progress. And he went from a 31.4 QBR to a 54. So I guess let's go ahead and say he takes the leap in year 3. He'll be up to what? 20, let's say 2,500 yards, 7.3 yards per attempt, 20 touchdowns, and I don't know, 12 interceptions? Like, yeah, no.
Again, you've got a team full of rookies now. You've got a running back pretending to be a quarterback. You've got some receivers. I mean, DJ Moore, St. Brown, whatever on Claypool. I'm not big on that guy at all. He's just a big dude. You've got a lot of rookies, though. And let's see. I mean, that's what they're doing. Like, all right, let's just throw all these rookies in the bag, reach in and pull out all of them and see. Hopefully, we'll get lucky and somebody will be better. I don't know. We're going to see if they're – for me, I don't see a difference between last year's team and this year's team. Yes, the rookies, but rookies are unproven, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see a big difference or a big add-on that, other than that right tackle who's going to be your left tackle. Other than that, I don't see a big difference that's going to tell me, oh, this team's going to win for sure 7 games. So, yeah.
Okay, so I've got the question of the day for you then. Fantasy relevance. Besides Justin Fields, who do you take? Is there anybody on this team?
I like St. Brown, but Justin Fields. I like Khalil Herbert is not bad, but he's losing carries to Justin Fields. That's like the worst running back by committee team you're ever going to see, because you got your running backs and they're like, man.
And would you waste a pick on Fields? Like, how many yards does he have to get to make it worthwhile to overcome everything else he doesn't do?
How many touchdowns did he have?
17 passing, 8 rushing.
No, it's not worth it with 8 rushing touchdowns.
11 interceptions and 9 fumbles, by the way.
And correct. And if you burn a pick on him, thinking, all right, well, he's a rushing quarterback, I'm going to get points. Yeah, cool. Here you go. Hey, look, he ran for 20 yards. Oh, he threw an interception. There goes those points. Like, hey, he scored a touchdown. Oh, wait, he threw 7 interceptions. Oh, man. I'm minus 4 points because of this guy.
He's like that defense that you're ahead and the defense hasn't played yet, and you're like, bench that defense. I don't want to lose the game.
The game where you're up by 2 and you're like, oh, man, all I have is Justin Fields left. I'm winning for sure. And then Justin Fields scores -6 points and you lose. Yeah, it can happen.
So there's one I would probably take that you haven't mentioned, and that's Cole Kmet. I'd do a middle to late round pick on him. He didn't have a ton of yards, but he has 7 touchdowns. And for a tight end, that's a lot.
That's good. I mean,
it's a tight end, and most leagues you've got a couple tight ends at the top, and then everybody else is kind of like that. And touchdowns are one of those things. Just because you got 7 last year doesn't mean you're going to get 7 again next year.
For me, Komet's a matchup tight end, right?
Yeah.
Good matchup, weak red zone defense, and go for it. I don't know. What did Camille Herbert have last year? I know he got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, hold on. He had only played 13 games, 129 carries for 731 yards, rushing, and basically caught nothing out of the backfield. He had like 9 receptions out of the backfield.
I wonder
I don't
why.
see any value. Probably should have broken down the teams by fantasy relevance, but this team, I would pick anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the few that I would actually not touch a person on. Maybe like if you're in a 16 round, 15th or 16th when you're looking for a depth, I look at Komet or something, but he'll go top 10 for sure, top 10 rounds for sure. So,
but would you rather have Would you rather have this situation where you're picking at the bottom, right? You're getting draft picks. Justin Fields, no matter what he does this year, someone's going to make a decision on his, is he the guy? And maybe we're all wrong, and maybe he starts making progress and he becomes Justin Hurts, a poor version of Justin Hurts. Who knows? Maybe we're all wrong. I just haven't seen anything yet to say he has. So if that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, then someone's going to say we're going to can him and get another quarterback in. They've got the opportunity to do it. That's a much better position than Dallas, right? You're bottoming out at eight wins. You're not getting a franchise quarterback there. So, I mean, if you had your druthers, you can build up. They're putting draft capital on the lines. They're putting draft capital on the defense and all the 5,000 wide receivers they brought in. Next year, if they go out and they get a home run on a quarterback, that resets everything, right? The team can actually be relevant again.
Yep.
Well, maybe that's what they're hoping for. Like, hey, Justin, go out there and do your thing, buddy. Good luck. So they can, end up with 2 wins and 15 losses and get that number 1 pick again. And like, hey, Justin, we're picking your replacement.
Bye. Well, and I'm sure the quarterback coach is, I got this, right? Because he's trying to make a name for himself. I'm sure everybody in the team goes, this is not a 1-year fix, right? There's only so much duct tape we can put on a team. All right, so who is the player that you would draft in the first round from this division? Who is, if you had all these guys available at your first round pick, who would you pick?
Mahomes.
From this division.
I would go, honestly, for me, Justin Jefferson is probably one pick I might do. Even with Kirk Cousins throwing at him, he did fairly well.
Stryker?
I'm torn between 2. I'm thinking about it. I'm leaning Madison, but I might go Jamar Gibbs.
It's hard to go for a running back, in my opinion, just my opinion, because it seems like every team is now on the running back by committee, right? So, look at Green Bay. They've got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones gets you some yardage, and they're like, hey, we're inside the 5-yard line. Where's he going? Where's he getting out?
Don't take a breather now. Take a breather in 2 plays, damn it. So
he screamed at the TV a lot last season, but
mine
A.J. Dillon gets the touchdown.
My pick's Jefferson. Even with Cousins, he's going to get his, right?
Well, the guy gets open, man. It's different with receivers, right? In my opinion. Now, again, those can go to hell when quickly when you play a team with a great defense that's just putting the quarterback on his back. But how many yards did Jefferson have last season, Stryker?
Yeah, you'd ask that, and I just closed the window. Hold on.
Sorry, Calvin.
That's Calvin Ridley Sr. to you. Jefferson, 1,800 yards. Yeah, I would have taken him had I looked at that stat before I answered.
That's a good question, though, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, because 1,800 yards. That's he didn't have. I mean, he was averaging 100 yards a game, 106 yards a catch or a game.
All right,
but it's a really good question based on. I mean, you look at NFC North was kind of an easy one to pick what player, but I know we've done NFC West and NFC East, but man, I think the NFC West and NFC East would have been hard to. Justin Jefferson seemed to be a quick answer for all of us, sort of in the NFC North. But if you look at the other two divisions we've done, I think it would take us a while to really think about that one because there's so many good teams and so many good players.
If you're your brother, it's the 49ers defense, right? First round.
Did he pick a defense?
No.
That's a big dog thing.
Yeah, that's a big dog thing. All right. If you had a last pick in the draft and you had any of the rookies available, who would you pick?
Well, that's not really fair because Gibbs will long be gone by then.
Is that the rookie you got?
It's the rookie I take.
I
I mean, you don't take him in a first round to not give him the ball. Not as a running back. Now, if Gibbs is gone, I take the Minnesota wide receiver. Addison, I think is his name.
Those are two pretty good picks, to be honest. That's one to think about, man.
This is where I take the Lions running back.
Really?
Why?
Cool.
Because I think he's going to beat out the other guy.
I think Gibbs is a better running back than Montgomery, and I do believe he will. But again, if you look at Detroit, they've always done running back by committee, and it's going to be the same thing as here. It's hard, but you should take a rookie, and I agree. I think I would take Gibbs also just based on the other rookies that aren't in. You got to look at what rookies got picked, right? Other teams didn't pick other than Minnesota, pick a offensive weapon like Gibbs or that rookie receiver they took in Minnesota. So by default, you're kind of on Gibbs.
Well, and the reason why to me is rookies, especially rookie wide receivers, the ceiling is very low.
Very low, yeah.
Whereas rookie running backs, the ceiling is very high. So I mean, in my perfect scenario, he goes out. David Montgomery, starts for the first two games. He's spelling him in the first two games, and he's just breaking runs left and right. And it takes about the third game that they're like, can he pass block? And once they get to the point of, yes, he's not going to get a quarterback killed, he's a starter, 15 games.
There's a running back that is a rookie that I think people are sleeping on. He in the depth chart, he's third. I'm going to go with the Bears, right? Rashawn Johnson. That guy is also a great running back. He got overshadowed in Texas by the other guy, Robinson. But this guy is going to be great also. I think by midseason, this guy's starting for the Bears. Just saying.
Nice. All right. I think that's it for us. Any other comments, questions? Skull, are you still alive?
No, he left. We only got the Texan who loves the Chiefs here.
Patrick Mahomes. All right.
Packers lose the first four.
Great. don't think so, dude. Think we're going to be saying Jordan Love wasn't that bad. And heaven forbid they pull another one out, right? Like they've got, it went from Favre to Rodgers to, now to Love. And if Love comes out and does half as well as the other guys, we'll be like, dang, they've got a great strategy.
Are we,
they've got the same
today?
quarterback coach for the last 10 years, so it's distinctly possible.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I asked if we're doing closing comments today.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just asking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want mine already?
Yeah.
Well, then let's break it down with Jordan Love is a future Lululemon's manager.
Stryker.
Your clickbait.
Got to follow for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to need a second after that one. I'm going to go with Jordan Love's going to surprise everybody. I think he's going to be a good quarterback this year.
Oh, why don't you send him teddy bears and chocolates?
I'm going to go with the Bears set the league rushing record.
Yeah, maybe. and the NFL record for least passing yards.
Exactly. Least passing yards ever. They reverted to the 1911 Chicago Bears.
Well, the Bears only have like 8 running backs now.
All right, guys. Great week. Thanks for coming out. I am out for the night. You guys have a good one.